Okay, welcome back. My name is Mateo. Um, I don't have my laptop charger. It apparently doesn't fit in the European sockets that you weird Europeans have here. It's like two little needles that have to go into the wall, although maybe it differs by the European country you're in. I'm in Romania at the moment. As I said in the last video, I'm going to be traveling Eastern Europe a little bit. So, yeah, I just found out like my laptop charger doesn't fit, so I got to figure that out. But nevertheless, I wanted to get out a video because Monero just passed $400, and it seems to just be climbing up from there. Um, some people have reached out to have me do some commentary on this. I mean, what are you expecting, a victory lap or something? This is nothing compared to what's going to be coming. And while it is nice to finally break out of that range we've been in over the last like 3 years, as far as where this could go, I think we've seen nothing yet. Now, I am willing to say that Monero is going hyper-nuclear, and that it's definitely got a lot of momentum and activity at this point regarding not only the price but the activity in the space. It's really quite something. But as far as where I think it's going to go from here, maybe we get like a little bit of a pullback, but ultimately we could be on the verge of some like serious FOMO into Monero because we just passed Litecoin. And if you think about it, Litecoin is listed pretty much everywhere. You can go on any exchange, you can buy it with cash. And I'm not sure if Litecoin's dethroning by Monero has to do with the lack of general cryptocurrency adoption, because Litecoin is a pretty useful crypto, especially now that it has Mimblewimble. It's got some level of privacy that you can opt into, even though I'm not a big fan of the whole opt-in privacy thing. I want privacy by default, which is why I'm in Monero. But it could also speak to the demand for privacy that's out there and the demand for Monero specifically. And now that we passed Litecoin and we're almost back in the top 20, which I don't think we've ever been in the top 20 since I started making videos, but we are just about there. We passed Polkadot, we passed Litecoin, and the market today has pretty much every cryptocurrency down except for Monero, which is increasingly common. Monero seems to be just beating to its own drum, particularly because it has its own ecosystem upon which the economy that is built on Monero is based. So you kind of have an inelastic demand, which means that people have a consistent demand and need for this crypto because it's private by default. And if you're going on like the dark web marketplaces, or if you're trying to do something that requires privacy, you're not going to go with anything else. You're going to go with the most trusted coin on the market, and the most trusted, the most liquid and accessible coin and trusted coin is Monero. And I understand that there are some people out there who seem to think that there are other cryptos that offer privacy, and that may be the case, but Monero is the most trusted and it's the most used, and therefore people are going to opt for that because people are not going to risk their privacy, and they're not going to jump through extra hoops to use a crypto that may just be marginally better. And I'm not even sure if it's going to be marginally better by the time full chain membership proofs comes around, which I think should be sometime in the next 6 to 12 months from what I latest heard. And that's going to make the anonymity set and the privacy just go hyper nuclear. And whatever marginal privacy you think you get with another coin, it's not going to be worth even trying to even take a glance at it. So, I can name those other coins. I'm not really all that interested, although I still like Zano, just saying. And they are doing some interesting things. I heard they have like a private stable coin out there now, but, ever since Haven, I've become a little bit skeptical of private stable coins and stable coins in general, particularly if they're algorithmic. So, if you're going to look into the Freedom Dollar, which is the latest thing that's going on in the Zano ecosystem, I'll do some additional research on that. I need to do the additional research myself on it. But nevertheless, regardless, people are going to want to get into Monero increasingly. And the fact that it's been delisted from Binance and Kraken and has been banned by countries, and yet it's about to break back into the top 20, and it's outperformed Bitcoin by miles. I mean, just in the last year, I think Bitcoin's done 20%, or at least year to gain, it's done 20%, and then Monero's done like 122%, which is pretty significant. And that's not, taking into account the Binance delisting, which happened last February. And, I think the Binance delisting low was something like $120, and now we're at 400, so that's like a 3.5x or something like that. And that was like the true testament as to whether or not somebody was a true Monero bro. I mean, if you sold your Monero because you panicked thinking that it was going to, be stopped by Binance delisting it, I'm sorry that you lost out on that. And congrats to everybody who, sees the value in Monero and was able to capitalize on that dip, because that was a freaking dip of a lifetime, dude. And, there's going to be people out there who regret that forever for not, buying into that dip, because now that it has shown its resilience, and, we have Tari merge mined with Monero, which means the security is that much better. I mean, the FUD is just gone out there. I mean, you're not hearing stuff about inflation bugs anymore. You're not hearing about, well, what's going to happen with Monero's long-term security, because maybe the tail emission isn't enough to incentivize the miners, because, the rewards from mining Monero may not take care of the electricity costs or whatever, right? Like, now you have Monero being merge mined with Tari, so the security is better than it's ever been. DarkFi is going to be coming soon, which is also merge mined with Monero. So the security isn't even a problem. So that FUD's gone. People asking, well, who uses Monero? I mean, you have whole marketplaces which are moving over to Monero continuously. I just heard about a marketplace somewhere in China, I believe, recently, which I guess is going to be switching to what they consider to be, more private cryptos, as far as I've heard. And apparently this is like a huge marketplace. It's like $35 billion a year being traded on this, and it dwarfs, the other exchanges and marketplaces that we've seen on this channel, like Hydra and Alphabet and these other ones. But the demand is growing, and I'm not really interested in that whole world. Y'all know me, but I am interested in also the regular adoption of Monero. And we've seen jewelers start to accept Monero, people who sell chips, people who sell honey and meat and jerky. I mean, there are so many things being sold from Monero nowadays, on websites like XMR Bazaar and Monerica, that there really is just a huge, huge economy. And I recommend that anybody who has a service to go onto one of these websites and list yourself, so that you can tap into the economy and so that you can earn Monero that way, which is possibly the most private way to earn Monero. And if an accountant like me can get clients to pay me in Monero, for doing what I do, there's no reason that you can't figure out something to do to get yourself some Monero by going onto there. I mean, you can do it. And so that's an important consideration as well. However, one thing I also do want to say is that as big a move as this is, from $120 last year to now we're at 400, this is nothing yet. And we could be about to see like the great FOMO to get into this stuff, because again, there's nothing else like it. And once that trickle starts, and once big names start to realize this, it's going to turn into a panic, unlike anything we've ever seen. I mean, we've seen like meme coin panics. However, this is not going to be like that. This is going to be like a genuine, I need to get into this before it's too late. And if you have been like on the sidelines, then you're going to want to get moving on this, because there's not going to be a second chance, to kind of catch up. And, so take note of that. What else do I want to say? So I'm in Romania. I'm going to MoneroCon in late June. Still need to buy my ticket. Hopefully there's still some. Hope to see some of you. I heard that some of you are going to be going, so that we can meet up, which would be great. And I would be very much looking forward to doing that. So if you're going to be in Prague around that time, shout out to me. I know one of you wanted to meet in Cluj, where I was just a few days ago. Maybe we could do that. And, the more Monero bros I can meet up with out here, the better. So that's all I got to say. I've not been up to, date on the latest news just because I haven't really been on the internet much. I've had like the craziest week of my life, honestly. Like, I'm still trying to kind of recover from it. I saw so many monasteries. Like, we confronted a bear, like, coming back from a monastery. Like, just kind of crazy stuff's going on. But all great, all wonderful. Some of these monasteries are just some of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. We've talked to some holy monks at these monasteries, which has been an enlightening experience. Cluj is just a fantastic city, absolutely beautiful city. I've not yet been to Bucharest, although I landed there and, drove through it temporarily to get to somewhere else. But Romania so far is just like perfect. I love it. However, I'm going to be going to some other countries in the area, and we'll see if I come back here. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me. Shouts out to the bros. Hope you've all been doing well, and we'll see where things go from here, man. I mean, I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to pop to 500 and then beyond. I've seen some predictions that based on triangles and other like chart shapes or whatever, it's going to be going to like $2,000, $5,000 a coin in the next few years. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, once you get into a kind of asymmetric, chaotic FOMO, I don't know if any of this kind of chart stuff even makes sense, because there may be just such an irrational panic to get into this stuff because people have psyched themselves into believing this is something that it wasn't, or this is something that was going to be but really wasn't, or whatever. Like, people just they can't just see the value in something and say, cool, let me just put some money into that because people are going to figure it out. Like, people psych themselves out of great things all the time, unfortunately. But we'll see where it goes. But this is exciting. So see y'all soon. Shouts out to the Monero Battalion. Shouts out to everybody out there working on the infrastructure. And God bless. We'll be in touch. See you.